What's happening YouTube? It's your resident wafu, Paddy from the Hangar here. I have to apologise, I've had an absolute nightmare the past couple of days. I've tried to record an episode of the Hangar twice, and each time ran into really avoidable snags. All human error snags. Not all human error. There was at points when I was recording the whole episode, thought it was great, then realised that the screen recording on this side had just decided to stop. There was times when halfway through the recording, the camera would just decide to shit the bed. There was times when I would forget to set up the I/O, so I was sitting listening to music whilst you guys would have been hearing nothing. So I was going to try salvage what I had, because I did obviously in those episodes advance certain songs, and I do have to apologise. What I done in them, obviously you'll never see because I've just deleted it because it was just rubbish, and I felt that if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it right. I could have released it and it been a lesser quality product, but I don't want to do that because I've got standards and you guys don't deserve that, especially after we go over 100 subscribers. You know, the pressure's on now. I can't release a product basically. So an absolute homage and thank you for the people that have subscribed. I chose not to release a product, so I'll try my best, even if I have to take things a little bit slower. I'll try my best to do it right this time. So let's get into it very gingerly. Having started off with that briefing, I fully expect there to be issues, but you know, fingers crossed. In the episodes that I've deleted, I progressed some rhythm guitar in a song, some acoustic guitar in another song, and a ton of MIDI as well, which I'm kind of glad because, as I've always said, the MIDI thing to me, I don't know if there's people out there that are learning from it. I don't know if there are people out there that are enjoying watching it, but for me personally, it feels like it could be boring to behold. So I'm kind of glad I was able to progress it somewhat off camera now. Technically it was on camera, but it'll never see the light of day because I've deleted it. Why the f are you doing that? So it's come up Pro Tools intro. Even though before I started recording, I deliberately went on to Avid Link and activated the licenses. And what happened? So I suppose try to look for the positives in this. So if you ever come up across this problem where Pro Tools is trying to load a version of Pro Tools that you don't have, because Pro Tools Intro is the free version of Pro Tools, which is great, fantastic. You do a free version of Pro Tools. You're very limited to what you do. You get a limited amount of tracks you can work with. You get a limited amount of everything basically. It doesn't come with the same things. But it's great if you want to try out Pro Tools. It's great if you can't afford Pro Tools just now. It's a great way to get into it. However, I do have a license, and I deliberately came on and told it when you click activate on Avid Play like this, on Avid Link, it should automatically activate your highest license, which as you can see right here, I switched from monthly to annually last month. You can pay for Pro Tools monthly, which I was doing, and back in the day you could actually own it perpetually, which I used to do, and this is just ignoring me, which is fantastic. Quite a lot of the time when I'm updating things or when I'm needing to do this, I have to hotspot my computer with my phone, which is what I'm doing now. Come on then, that's not what we're... Nope. Not that. Come on then. Try real. There we go. Now that we've done that, we'll activate. It looks like it's trying to do something this time. Usually it comes up a warning in the top right, checking for a license, but it's not done that at all. What? I'll try opening it, but if you give me any of this fucking Pro Tools intro... See, I knew there'd be I knew there'd be something in the way. I knew there'd be snags. And it's never like, oh, I've dropped my plectrum. It's always something like, you should just fucking work. It's your job. So here we are. There we go. So now it's recognised that we have that bundle rather than the intro. Please sponsor me, Pro Tools. But essentially, the start of this episode is very much going to be, much like the last one, we're going to try progress the songs need MIDI. That's our priority, get them caught up because they're way behind. And then I'll pick a song that we're going to progress some guitar on. We're getting there, but well, we're not. We're not at all. And chances are we'll get to the end and I'll be like, oh, I want to add this new song to it. Some elevator music at this point would be brilliant. Wasting our time on cheap talk and wine, left us so little to give. That same old crowd was like a cold dark cloud that we could never rise up. Right, so this warning is essentially reminding me that the last I.O. that I entered in has not been remembered. The first thing I'm going to do, because it's one of the many snags I had last time, is to do the I.O., but we'll delete this, because if I don't do it, then you won't hear anything, and it's pointless me doing this. So we'll call it 100 in ode to having over 100 followers. We'll amend that to stereo because we forgot to put stereo again. We'll click on 100 and we'll click on auxiliary I.O. and then we'll also tell it to monitor to alpha, and then we'll call that 100 as well. And then we'll go over to the auxiliary channel and we'll tell it to send some of that sweet, sweet music to 100. And there we go. So this working title is called 809's Rock. Where are we up to on this? Let me hear where This is actually right back at the start, so I'm going to fast forward. We are up to bar 8 to 9. I'm on the wrong f***ing thing here. I've obviously had a brain fart there, because this section should be called Break Before Bridge. But luckily, I'm switched on today, and I recognised this section goes on till bar 97, and it is pretty simple. I need to turn my keyboard on as well. Just about fell for that. Let's do its flashy flash. Right. Bar 97 is where the next section is, and it is section J for Joby, and it's called Middle 8. Quantize, turn into the Tweety Pie. Quantize them. We'll add a little bit of overheads in somewhere. There they are. Turn them up though. And then the hi-hat. That's a good one there. That one. That one. Really struggled to stay in time with that one. Wow, that hurt my head. As soon as I tried to be clever and add little flares there, I was fucked. But we can solve that. You could see how twisted my melon was here. Wow, just missing bits out. Listen to this section, because I think that's really all it is. And that's us progressed 809's Rock to 2 minutes 15, and it is a 3-minute 40 song, so we're getting there with that one. Save that just to be sure, and then we'll open the next recent, which would be 65 Deluxe Reverb. And again, the first thing I must remember to do is sort the I.O., otherwise I'm just wasting my time. Oh, right. So on this one we are on to section G, which is bar 46. So start with the kick drum. And then 62 is the next section. Bar 62 is the next section, which is not got a title so much, it's just H. Nope, that's not what I want you to do. And because of the nature of the hi-hats here, I could, or you could, spend a long time trying to get that in time. Then you're going to quantize it and it's going to throw it fucking everywhere, and you're going to have to do it manually anyway. So I'm going to skip a step here, and I'm just going to point and click this and then copy and paste it. If you want it to grow exponentially, just keep copying the ones you've done. Then we'll put a little bit of overhead in there, again just for variation. And then copy from there. Because when you do things this way, there's a huge chance it can sound very robotic and unrealistic, and we don't want that, even though we know full well that we're not playing real drums up in here. Save that and move on to the next recent, which is Veteran Butterfly. Why have you done that? Like, surely I'm not that out of time. I'm going to move both of these marginally closer to each other. So I reckon copy the first bar of this change bit and then we'll be alright. And the next section is simply called J. So again, the reason why I'm pointing and clicking on this is quite a complex drum piece. Not something I'm comfortable with achieving in a good time frame on a keyboard. Happy with that. That actually worked out quite well and was reasonably quick to do. So I believe I've got one more MIDI track to progress. Pimple Trees. Alright. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the strings over. So we go find the last place that says chorus up here. I believe this is it here. There we go. Just copy these strings. Quantize all of the kick drum hits that we just did. Awful. But again, we'll fix it. What the fuck? There we go. On Guitar Pro there, it's pretty closed hi-hat, but I think being the last chorus, the best way to listen back is to do so whilst sorting the overheads out. Cool. We did the MIDI bits and we remembered the fucking IO shit. Well done! Yeah! Winning! Right, let's see what's in the fucking menu for the next thing. Because as I say, I can't just do MIDI in a episode. Personally, I'd find that boring. Let's see. Get up, hit back. How does that one go again? So as I mentioned, I'm going to be using my PRS for this one. Let's add the tracks. I need 2 for the guitar, 1 for the aux, 1 for the master fader. Cool, give me them all in grey. So I have to fucking do this like some sort of fucking dog. Mesa, probably going to be using channel 2, the orange channel, for some slightly heavy crunch. Going to be using my noise suppressor on my usual settings. My tube screamer is on. I've got the tone just past midday, the level at midday, and the overdrive on the first note. The tube screamer really isn't adding any distortion to this, or very little. It's just tightening up the distortion that I've got. So from that, see, So there's very little difference in the tone and in the distortion. It just tightens up the sound a little bit. So without further ado, whilst we're on a little bit of a roll here, God, we're even still recording and everything. I'm waiting for the screen recording not to be working. Hey ho, we'll turn the guitar tracks a little bit down so they're not overwhelming the song for me and you. Right, let's hear how that sounded. Let's Let's see the verse. Pre-chorus. Actually, the fast bit of the verse. And then bridge. Perfect. Save that. Sweet. It looks like we might actually see whilst I'm on. I'm not going to turn you off. Usually I do that one first, but I'm going to see if QuickTime is going to save this screen recording. Oh Jesus! Please, please, Jesus! Yes! In there. Pleaded to Jesus. Now I owe him. Save as. Always call it SR. One. So, saving that. Cool. As long as this doesn't fucking corrupt itself, then we're on a home run. I remembered all the IOs. This has been a good episode. Fuck, what am I going to do? Well, let's not count our chickens yet, because they have not had. This is still saving as well, so I fully expect this to come up failure in operation or whatever. But today, again, we've processed it. Let's just calm down. We're getting a little bit excited. Speaking of excitement, I've already touched upon it, but I'll mention it again. Thank you so much to all the people that are subscribing. When I got up to 100, I was like, amazing. That's 100 more than I ever thought would be interested. So now that we're going beyond that, there's actually a chart behind me. So I was totally blown away. When I was doing this, it was mainly for me, for the struggles I was going through with my mental health and my recovery of that, and trying to help people as well was a huge factor in it. I never expected it to get to this stage, so I know it's still small potatoes, but I'm really, really touched and I'm utterly humbled. So thank you so much to every single person that subscribes, that likes, that comments, that watches the videos, that takes the time out, because sometimes I still enjoy doing it. So it's amazing. So I'm so humbled and so grateful. And as I said right at the start, I'll be the first person to give back. I like to think that I try to give back in every little episode, just in a tiny way, even if it's just someone looking for an answer of how to do this or how to do another thing. As I've always said, it's something that I wish I had when I was starting out, my journey. But as always, please do continue to like, continue to share, comment. I've got back to every comment that thus far. I mean, I'm not saying I'm over encumbered with them, but I'll always answer any questions the best that I can. So yeah, keep that up, share the word, get onto Spotify, iTunes, or whatever your poison is. Most people use Spotify. And have a listen to Trich. I'm so close to 1,000 listens on that as well. So I'd love to get that up to 1,000. That'd be a huge stroke in my ego. If I'm perfectly honest, that'd be great if we could get there and beyond. Share the word, go and have a listen, follow us on TikTok and all that random nonsense. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, but most importantly, safe landing.